actually have an Aperion one right now. I got this. Hold on.
Yeah, you had a few Aperion boxes.
Yeah, I got this one. I asked them to check this one out because this is one that you have not measured, Aaron.
Okay.
It's the Aperion A5.
Okay. Hey, that looks like it could be all right.
That's what I'm saying.
Coaxial?
Yeah, it's a coaxial. It's made to be kind of a. I think the reason why I was interested is because it is kind of like a prime elevation speaker, size wise, right? Except the problem I had with those is because they're two-way, you're always in the worst location. You're above the tweeter. So you can imagine if it's two-way and the tweeter's like right here and the woofer's up here.
Yeah.
Right? And you're down here, like that's the worst angle to be at.
You're right.
So I'm like, coaxial is probably the best. And so this is what they have. I asked for the satin finish, and it looks pretty cool. One thing I told you about that I thought was kind of odd. This is using a ring radiator tweeter in the coaxial. I've never seen that, and they don't mention it on their website.
Yeah, that's very odd.
I'm like, how does that work? Like, so what does that work? Plug part. What does that do? Is it something to do with like controlling a pattern?
Yeah, it's right. It's directivity control. It's just another means of doing it. Because at some point, the higher frequency, they start to break up like any other driver does. Any other type of cone or dome. So it's a way to kind of control the lobing at the higher frequency, so you don't get off-axis lobes, cancellations, and stuff like that. So it's just another form of directivity control.
So does it act somewhat as a weird kind of waveguide or no?
Yeah. I've heard people call them waveguides, phase plugs, all sorts of different terms for them, but
it works in a different way, right? Because I could imagine the other one is saying, all right, when you want to go wide, now we're going to make you go
it's going to restrict
forward.
It now. Yeah.
This one is not working in that way, is it?
And it depends too. Like sometimes they're attached to the cone, like at the edge. Sometimes they just float above the dome, right? So it really depends. Sometimes they're like if they have if they're connected to the pole piece, like on a woofer or something like that, then it's a heat dissipation thing. Most of the time, not with ring radiator tweeters, but with I'm trying to think of the word here that I'm trying to look for here, but I'm drawing a blank. Phase plug. You see a phase plug on like a mid-range. It's like a full-range driver that has a copper little phase plug on it. A lot of times, those are just for looks. They don't really even serve any real purpose as far as venting or cooling or anything like that. But then sometimes they can, because they can be attached to the voice coil, and then they can help to cool that off somewhat, heat dissipation up through that way. But yeah, they have it's kind of hard to talk about unless you have a specific design, because they have a lot of intentions, but there's a lot of them that don't do what they were initially designed to do. Somebody just took it and said, that looks cool, I'm going to just copy that, but I'm not going to use it in the same way that it was designed, right? So I think ScanSpeak has a patent, or they did at least, on the ring radiator tweeter. So you can actually, I believe so. It's been a long time since I've looked at it, but I believe you can.
How did Polk use a ring radiator on the reserve?
Well, I think Polk used to use ScanSpeak drive. Actually, I know Polk used, at least for car audio, they just rebranded ScanSpeak DI or OEM drivers,
because these look very ScanSpeaky.
Yeah,
let's just say that. Like, just looking at it, looking at the angle of the tweeter. I mean, I don't think I can show it to you. No, too hard to see. Too hard to see.
ScanSpeak ring radiator tweeters. Let's see if it has a patent number on it. Yeah, U.S. patent 6320972. And they actually talk about it. That's pretty neat stuff, man.
No.
See, to me though, that looks like it could be problematic. Like, how smooth is the transition from the throat to the tweeter? Is there like a gap there anywhere? Is it a step down? Is it a smooth connection to it?
What is that thing that's called the ring that has caused issues on various ELAC ones?
Oh, that's the one they took into Mordor.
Ring. I don't know. I'm trying to think.
What is that? That little? It's like a lip around it.
Oh, so a lot of times it can be the former of
Yes.
of the mid range. So the former is what the voice coil kind of glides around or attaches to, and sometimes that former can stick out a little bit higher than.
It sticks out a little bit.
Yeah, I don't see. To me, that's like just a simple. I don't know why they do that.
But
To act as a guide, maybe to help with the suspension. Maybe.
But it has this grill though. Maybe if it's like that diamond grill on the SVS, it just fixes everything. You know, right?
Maybe so.
I'm joking because when I asked the SVS guys, who I do consider my friends,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, so just asking about the dispersion characteristics, and they said, well, they're talking about how the grill on there, it's different. It's gonna do some stuff, and I was kind of skeptical. And from the measurements, didn't look like it did a whole lot.
Yeah, I don't recall seeing anything in those results that made it look like, oh, okay, yeah, this is definitely the benefit from using this grill, this special grill.
So
but who knows? That's the thing, though. Like, who knows what it looked like before? Like who knows what it would have done before they added that piece onto it?
Yeah. So anyway, interested. And the other thing that's weird about this is on their website for Aperion, the A5, they say that this can be used as upfiring.
Yeah. Which
I find kind of weird because the upfiring modules require a certain type of EQ.
Yes.
So it's like but it's an EQ that you wouldn't want if you're using them as actual height speakers.
Right.
So I'll have to measure it and see what's happening there. But I don't think that those two would be interchangeable unless you added your own EQ to it. Like if they measured really flat and then you said, okay, I'm gonna use them as upfiring, and then it adds its own EQ, that would make sense. But anyway, that's what's going on. Let me put these back.
Now, if you can't catch the show, we do have an audio version at anchor.fm/daily HiFi. So make sure to go on over there if you like to listen to the show.